Debbie, the researcher.
And I'm Judy, the athlete, and we're here to help you better your best.
Judy, I have to say I'm a big proponent of core movement patterns. And what I define those as a way a person tends to move, especially, it doesn't even matter skilled or less skilled, but we see it when we do our Better Your Best program, and they come in, whether they're an archer or golfer or baseball player, whatever, and we have them doing things outside of their primary sport, but there are their core movement patterns. For example, it could be they tend to get fast, or they tend to get lost in the technique.
Or they tend to go right or left,
yes,
right?
That's
like we
exactly
see that
right.
quite a bit.
That's exactly right. And at darts, same thing. The core movement pattern will keep showing up. Then I always figure the athletes, they'll know what those are, 2 things, maybe 3 at the most, and they'll have a strategy to manage it. Okay, and the strategy changes over time because they habituate to them, but that's okay, they got all that down.
And I see they go to that first, right?
Yeah.
When
right.
when things aren't working in archery, we see their groups all of a sudden open up. They've been shooting fine, all of a sudden their groups are really big. And the first thing they'll go to is something in their mechanics that's probably addressing a core movement pattern.
You know, and that's a fine strategy, because it'd be an easier one to manage probably. So if they just do their problem solving strategy number 1, then 2, then 3, it'll either manage the problem or it's not the physical skill side.
But what's interesting is when the physical side doesn't work, then I hear that. I did those things and it's not working. It's not working.
Yes, and I'll bet some of you have heard the same things as well. But it's because it's the mental side. So what I believe also is that there's a core mental pattern that each one of them have. And you can pretty much see it come out in their shots, you know. Once again, they're going to get ahead of it possibly, or they get very tentative and careful.
Yeah, we see cautious a lot. I get very careful, I get very cautious.
The more
slow,
skilled, the more careful.
I get really slow.
Yep. Yeah, and so these are their tendencies, or you know, when the doubt comes in and it's very strong and they're totally lost, and that could be their 3, you know, tendencies. So what we would like for them to have is a problem-solving strategy for each of those, and then they'll have, I go here first, I go here second, I go here third, depending on which issue came up, and they're so much more confident going into that tournament. But I think what you're saying is right too. They can practice it in practice.
Sure.
You know, if we can help them create some of the,
well,
a little bit of stress, not as
to some
much.
extent, it's creating the awareness of, oh, I'm in the moment that I could create a solution. I have it right here, and we can provide it on an index card or something that's really easy in their golf bag or in their quiver that they pull out when things aren't working.
Right.
And let's
sometimes
go through the list.
They even forget the cards there, you know, when it gets pretty bad. But at any rate, we just put little pieces of tape on things, you know, and for us, we can mark our ball in a certain pattern, you know, with a fun smiley face or whatever it happens to be to remind them.
So you think a tattoo might be over the top?
A little bit. Maybe one of those peel off. Okay, but yeah, I think to write down those 3 physical skill side strategies and the 3 mental, and you'll be all set.